So this is what I'm calling the 9-face.
Okay.
9-face. You're going to take a sheet in your sketchbook. You're going to divide that into 9 sections. I'm going to get a better marker. And this. You're going to divide that into 9 sections like this. Then you are going to use either your apps. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh. It's the second time.
Now I appreciate you.
Oh.
You are choosing 9 different emojis. They have to be human face simulation emojis. You are going to learn the term deconstruction. Deconstruction, if you do not know that term, means to break down, to get it to its most basic forms. So what happens is, there we go. What happens is, a lot of times, people will draw people that are very detailed and everything like that. And if I had more time, I'd make it more accurate. But you start with a very detailed person, and as you go down, you lose details. Until you've gotten something like this. So the first step would be the actual human being, the one person this would represent. The next level would be a photograph. It's not the person. Sometimes photographs don't exactly look like the person it's representing, but you know it's still that person. It's being augmented slightly. The next would be a photorealistic drawing. It's not perfect. It's not as close as a photograph, and it's not the actual person. And then you go down the line all the way until what we now call the emoji. So the emojis were birthed out of the problem that was faced in texting. You guys are too young to realize this, but back in the day, we only had texting. We didn't have emojis, and you couldn't send pictures and stuff like that. So when we text each other, and you've probably still experienced this today, sometimes when you get a text, you think they're mad at you or they were happy at you, and then you're like, what did I do wrong? I'm sorry, don't hate me, and things like that, when really they didn't mean it like that at all, but because there's something that's lost in translation. So emojis were birthed to deal with the concept of the breakdown of communication. So instead of, if you send a joke to somebody and it's kind of sarcastic, you can send them a little emoji with the tongue hanging out the side, and they know that you're kind of joking. So there's this big loss in translation, so they started developing the emoji. Unfortunately and fortunately, the emoji is a representation of actual facial gestures. So you've got some that go like this, and some might look like it's crying and things like that. And there's all these different emojis that represent emotions or facial gestures. The problem is there's a lot lost in translation when you're down to just a smiley face. So we are going to be reconstructing the deconstructed. We're going to take what became basic and generalized. I mean, this smiley face could be anybody. We don't know if it's a boy, girl, animal, or whatever. We don't know if it's got blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, whatever. There's no hair. There's no ears. There's no defining characteristic. It's generalized to its most basic deconstruction. I want you to go the opposite way. I want you to reconstruct these. So on this page, you're going to choose 9 different little emojis. You're going to put the emojis that you are choosing in each one of these squares. And then you are going to either use your friend, an actual person, a picture of a person, but you are going to reconstruct this person. So you're going to have to make choices. You're going to have to make details. You're going to have to make hair. You're going to have to make eyes and ears and nose and mouth and things like that. So just a crash course. You guys went through this in foundations or any other basic art class that you've done here. The human face is divided like this. This is the center line. This is the eye line. Eye line is halfway in the head. Center line is halfway in the head. Halfway between the head and the chin, halfway between the head and the chin is your quarter mark, which is your nose line. Half between the nose line and the chin line, that's your eighth line, is your mouth line. The eyes are spread one eye width apart. In between these eyes, if you go from the corner of the eyes, if you go down, that's how wide the nose should be. If you go from the center of the eyes and drop those down, that's how wide the mouth should be. So the nose is one big circle and two small circles. The lips are split in half. Here's one side of the lip. It goes up, around, down, and back. And then the bottom goes like that. Eyeballs are cut off on the top, not on the bottom. So they go around, touch the bottom, and go back up. Around, touch the bottom, and go back up. The hairline, if your emojis or your reconstructed emoji has hair, if you divide the half line going up, here's your quarter line, is your hairline. So I want you to look at pictures. If you want to use friends, if you want to use people around you, whomever, I want you to reconstruct the emojis to what they would look like if it was a real person. So if it's just a basic smiley, then you draw them like me going like this. Or if you got the smiley with teeth, you might go like this. Or something to that effect. Or so anyways, so you're going to have a couple weeks to do this. This is a multi-week sketchbook. You're going to choose 9 emojis, put them up here in the corners so I know which emoji you are using, and then you are reconstructing it so it looks like an actual human being as good as you can do it. And continue to do more and do better. Thank you for your time and your attention. Do more, do better.